We are igniting the blockchain again today. This is Elizabeth, otherwise known as the Crypto Woman, and I have recently built my own blockchain using the NXT Blockchain Creation Kit, and I showed you how I did it. Today I want to show you how we can make some tweaks to work with the naming and the identification of the blockchain to reflect our own project and remove some of the features that we don't want. We did use the NXT Blockchain Creation Kit to do this. We took a blockchain snapshot, we created our own Genesis block, and then we checked the new blockchain to make sure that it was running. You can see all of that in the earlier video. But when we checked it, this is what we saw. They're highlighted in orange. You're going to see some of the things that still identify this as an NXT clone. These are the things that we're going to change. What comes next might seem complex, but take your time, back up when you need to, and if you feel like you really must bump your head on the wall, before you do that, try making sure that you close down your client wallet and restart it again, clear your caches, and try some of those things first. Now, you're going to need to open up your favorite text editor. And remember, we're going to be logging in and out of our blockchain frequently to monitor the updates to our files. I won't be nudging you each time we need to do that. There's going to be so many of them. Just know that almost every single time you go back into your text editor and make a change, you should probably close down and restart. A little bit tedious, but it's the best way to stay on top of what's happening. Before I go any further, I just want to tell you again how excited I am to be creating a blockchain. Wow. So I'm going to save my files. I don't want to mess up anything that I've done up to this point. Let's take a peek into my file browser, and you can see there that I have my Genesis text file and my Genesis account.json file, which was created at the snapshot. I'm going to keep those files for posterity. I think it just would be fun to look at them again someday. I have my NXT clone directory that has all the files that I use to run the initial blockchain, and I zip that up in a zip file just to protect it, make sure I don't accidentally overwrite it. I copied it also to this free speech Genesis file, and I zipped that. Then I got a little bit cautious feeling and decided I'm even going to copy that. So I made a directory called free speech, and that's the one I'm going to work on. You can see the little art file over there because I'm getting pretty excited about theming this in the future. But make sure you back up your files. Really and truly, you do not want to be making these edits on your only copy of the blockchain you just created. But let's go into the directory of the blockchain that you're going to be editing. We're going to open up the readme.md file. We referenced this file. We referenced this file when we were taking our snapshot and creating our Genesis block. Now at the very, very bottom, there's a couple hints about how we can tweak this for further identification and branding. And it does tell us that we need to open up the NXT/NXT.java file to change the coin symbol and the coin name. However, we're not going to find the NXT/NXT.java file right there in the main directory of our project. We're going to need to navigate a little further down in, and we're going to go to the SRC directory. Inside that, we're going to find Java directory, and inside that, the NXT directory. And there we can open up the NXT.java file. So check that out. There on line 55 is a reference to our application. And it says next clone. Makes good sense that we should replace that with our token name. So I did. I replaced it with free speech, which, if you haven't guessed, is going to be the name of my project. And I saved the file, opened up my client wallet, logged in, and expected to see my changes and Look at those highlighted places. Not one thing has changed. So that was a little bit frustrating. I didn't know where to look for directions in any other place than the README file. So I had to dig a little bit deeper, and I found a few other places to tweak. Let me show you. So log out of your wallet and go back into your blockchain folder. There, we're going to find the SRC folder. Inside that is the Java folder. Inside that is the NXT folder. And there you will open the file constants.java. There are 3 places to update this file. You can see that I've highlighted them on the left side of your screen. And on the right side of the screen, you can see where I've replaced some of those terms with my identifying symbols and names. You want to make sure that you replace the FSC with your coin symbol and the free speech with your token name. Save your file and then navigate back to the main folder of your project directory. Find the HTML folder. Inside that is www. Inside that is JS. And inside that, you will find the file nrs.constants.js. This is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. On the left-hand side, you're going to see 4 lines highlighted. When we're done, we're going to have 5 lines because we are going to add one. And most of the text of each of these lines is going to be replaced. So make sure you get it carefully. I'm going to try and post text for you to copy and paste wherever this tutorial is presented. But to get started, over there on line 125, you're going to replace that line with what you see on the right-hand side of your screen. You're going to replace line 26 with the code that you see there on the right, and also line 127. After line 127, we're going to add a new line, 128. And you can see the text put in that line right there on the right-hand side of your screen. And now we have line 129 that needs to be replaced with this text, making sure that you substitute your project name for free speech. I'm done making my edits. This is what my new file looks like. After we've saved those files, we're going to go to our command box, start up our client wallet, navigate to it in a browser, and log in. Clicking returning user, the first thing we see is that the FSC prefix is active. Great. Log in, and there it is. We see free speech right up there in the upper right hand corner. We can send FSC. We have a account balance of 100 million FSC right over there in the left hand column. Okay, so have we talked yet about how awesome of a blockchain NXT is? It is so fully featured. There are many, many, many things that you can do right out of the box with over 250 APIs that are ready for your developer or you to use to manage your data or to create smart contracts with. Okay, so here's the thing. My project is going to be called Free Speech. And it's going to be about communication. I'm going to want messaging, probably want voting, and I might decide to keep the data cloud because sharing pictures is part of communicating and telling a story. I know for sure today that I don't want the marketplace. I don't want shuffling, and I'm not going to need the monetary system. So I want to eliminate those features. I don't even want to see them because they're clutter if I don't need them. So how am I going to do it? Well, I'm going to go back out to my project folder. I'm going to navigate to the conf, C-O-N-F directory. And inside that, I see the NXT default.properties file. We don't ever want to touch that. That could really mess things up. If we want to make changes to those default properties, we want to find the relevant code and copy it and paste it in a new file that we're going to create called nxt.properties, which I've done. This is the code that I've copied and pasted and that we need to work with. The first thing that I want to do is just disable those big groups that I know I don't want any of the features of. So I'm going to just list them here, separated by semicolons. Here I've listed the digital goods store, the monetary system, and shuffling. I'm going to save that file, start my client wallet back up, and I'm going to go in and check it out and make sure that these things have disappeared. And they're gone. The features of monetary system, marketplace, and shuffling are no longer available to my end users, just like I wanted. There might be some instances where I want to keep the group, but there might be a specific API or feature inside that I don't want my end users having access to. For instance, I believe I may want my end users to be able to set an alias so that they can interact with each other without using their account numbers all of the time. But I don't think I want them to sell those aliases. So what am I going to do about that? Well, I will navigate back into the API console, and I'm going to find out what the exact name of that function is inside the console, and I'm going to add it to my NXT properties file, like you can see here. I'm going to save that and open my client wallet again and look and see if it's disappeared. And it sure has. So you can see how you can fine-tune your dashboard and your features that you present to your end users by adding more items to these two lines, and until you get it presented exactly the way that you want it. Wow, can you believe it? I've created it, my own blockchain project. Free speech coin. Who knows what's going to happen with this? Today I changed the name of the coin symbol, and I changed the name of the project so the wallet looks more like my own instead of branded with NXT. And I started turning off the features that I don't want to be available for my end users of my blockchain. Let's just check it out one more time. Oh my. Did you see that? That is just a preview of what I'm playing around with. At some point in the future, we're going to finish theming this and making it look like our project. But before we do that, I want to show you how to set up nodes in a network. That's a pretty important thing, and we'll probably do that next. I also want to show you how to interface some of these APIs with your website to make it a little bit more accessible to your end user. And we need to talk about how we're going to distribute this coin. So there's still lots of work to do. Stay tuned, and I'm going to let you see exactly how I do it. If you're following along, I hope you are as excited as I am about where you're bringing your project. If you're just watching, I hope you're getting a lot of really good ideas. Best success to all of you.